Hello, my name is Holly Best-Kincaid, and I'm here to share with you Bitmoji Classroom, from basic to brilliant, and some wonderful tips along the way on how you can create your own Bitmoji virtual classroom. Let's get started. So some things that you want to make sure that you are doing. One, use Google Chrome as your browser. This is going to allow you to add the Bitmoji extension. You can do a search on Google, searching for Chrome extensions, and go ahead and install the Bitmoji extension. You're going to use Google Slides to create the virtual space in which you are going to have your virtual classroom with walls, desks, and anything that you want in your classroom. Now, you can also edit your Bitmoji avatar. You can change the clothes and different things. So if you haven't created your Bitmoji character, do that first. So let's get started. Hello, I'd like to give you a quick tour of my own Bitmoji virtual classroom that I've created with a colleague here in my school district. So what you're seeing right now is our Google Slides in building mode. You can see at the left of the screen the variety of pages that we have available for students when they click on different images in our Google Slide that then takes them as an interactive way to navigate all of the different information that students have available to them, the different lessons and different things that they might want to explore in our virtual learning environment. So that is all done through present mode. So allow me to show you present mode. This is what students would see when going to my presentation and to my virtual classroom. So here is our entry page, and you can see we have my colleague and myself in our two different middle school classrooms here in our district. If you were to click on the SKMS side, which is my personal classroom, you can see a variety of links that are available in the room, all by pictures. So the different images are actually links to different things, whether it's Artsonia or choice boards that are on the board that students can either go back and review some information that's already been shared or see the things that are new for the given week. Different images are clickable links. I even have a link here on the music box to some music that I would usually play in the classroom. Some of my students said they really enjoyed that because they missed hearing some of those sounds while they were working. There are different things. You can put books that are interactive, and a lot of these things are things that you create as a page or can be links that you have found online as resources, whether it's a museum's website, a reading of a book, or even some artwork that you want the students to explore. So if I were to click on one of these links, you can see it then goes to a slideshow that we created that's allowing students to explore Earth Week for that particular week. There were videos and different things, so the students could then click on whatever they were wanting to explore, and it goes directly to that page. So that's a little glimpse as to how you would navigate a page. Now, when we would share this particular virtual classroom, it's shared in present mode, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. So let's go back and learn how to create your own Bitmoji virtual classroom. Let's get started. First, you want to make sure that you are using the Google Chrome for your web browser. You want to make sure that you have also installed the Bitmoji Chrome extension. Doing a quick search on Google for Chrome extensions, you'll find the Bitmoji option and have that installed. I'm in Google Slides to start developing my own Google virtual Bitmoji classroom. Now, when I start a new slide, typically you will have text boxes. We're going to quickly delete those because we want a white canvas for which to create our illusion of a classroom. Now, if I go to background, I can quickly do a change by choosing image, and I can search the web. So I'm doing a Google image search for a wall and a floor background. I can click on an item and hit insert. That then changes the background to be a basic wall or floor. Now, I can then add things like a whiteboard or a computer desk by doing image searches. You do that by going to Insert, Image, and then I'm going to search the web. Now, of course, if you have images that you have already created, photos from your classroom, you can also upload those directly into your space. But I'm going to search the web. A search bar will pop up on the right side of the screen, and I'm going to search for a whiteboard transparent PNG, which you already see put in the space. I can look through these items, click, and drag over into the space. The transparent PNG is really important in your search. I could also do a computer desk in the same format with transparent PNG there. Click and drag an item. Now, when you insert an item, you will have to resize it possibly or reposition it to be where you want it in your space. You can resize by going to the corner square, clicking and dragging, and making sure that it is the appropriate size. Now, how do you add your Bitmoji character? Go up to the top of the screen and click on the Bitmoji extension. A window pops up. A lot of these items have text, and that might not be appropriate for what you're wanting to show. At the top, you can do a search for pose. That's going to allow you to see different items that might not have any text. I'm going to click and drag that into my space. Now, I can resize my character. I can move it about and put it in the position that I want. I can also go to format options, and over here, if I wanted to flip my character to point in the opposite direction, I can do that as well. So there are other ways that you can kind of adjust that. I can also add a shadow. If I go down, a drop shadow, which sometimes is a neat effect for your character. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a shadow. And add a little bit of a blur so it doesn't have a harsh line. Gives it a little bit of depth into your picture. Now, this is the way you're going to basically start creating the space. You're adding elements that are decorating your classroom, whether it's posters, images, items that you want the students to click on to go to other spaces in your slideshow or on the web. So let's learn about links. Now, I'm going to go to my virtual art room and our classroom slides. Now, if you were to look at my particular classroom, the different items that are in here are actually linked to other slides that might be in the presentation or linked to things on the web. You can take any item and make it a click. By clicking on the item, you can go up to the top of the screen, and there's something that looks like a little paper clip. And I can click on that while I have an item selected, and it can either go to slides in the presentation or it can go to a web URL. Either one will work. Now, I already have a lot of links already put into my space. So if you were to click on any item that has a link, you'll see the slide number that it might go to or the web URL that it goes to. So the different items that can go to different slides or learning opportunities are all here. So any of these go to different slide presentations for students to learn. Okay, so I could click on that link and it would take me to those slides. Now, those work when you share your Google Slides in present mode. Now, to do that, I can go up to Share, and you're going to get a link, and you can see I have this particular slide shared to a lot of people. I can go to copy the link. Now this is where I'm going to change it a little bit. I can go up to a URL and paste that link. But if you look at the link right here at the end, it has the word edit. I want to change that to be the word present. So I'm going to click on just that one little part and put the word present. Now, I'm going to copy all of this, and that's going to be the link that I will use. And I'm going to show you what will happen. So if I have that word changed to present, when you open up our slides, you're going to see it in present mode, not in edit mode, and that's really important. So when students click on the different items, it'll go to the different links, to the different pages, and to the different learning opportunities that might be available. Something that we have also added is really important for students to be able to navigate the spaces. On different things, you'll see at the bottom, there's a little link to go to exit back. See the little exit sign there? That takes us back to the front page. Now, different items you might want to make sure that as you're allowing students to navigate, always having that way for students to get back to the main classroom and allow students to understand that that is there. I've also gone a little bit further, and you can see that there is a little sound that is available and embedded in my slides. That's a little introduction to my students. I've actually recorded a sound and had that added into my slides. So if we go back to the virtual classroom, you can add sounds to any item. There are ways that you can go over and insert audio, video, different text boxes. So you could add a little intro here and type on your chalkboard, type on your whiteboard. You can add different videos that might be playing on your screen. So I could go, I'm going to delete that text box. I could insert a video, and you might want that to play when you're going. You can upload directly from your Google Drive. So if you are using things like Loom to record, like I'm doing right now, you can record and download your Loom video and have that uploaded into your Google Drive and upload it directly. So you can kind of see here, I can see some of my videos that I have done, and I could click on that link and select, and now that will be into the space. I can go to the corner and resize and have that be on my whiteboard to show the students. Now, do you see how I look like I'm behind the video now? So if I go to Arrange, Order, Send Backward, I can put it behind my Bitmoji character. So you're going to keep doing this for each of the elements that you want to add into your space. You can have a variety of different places where the students will navigate to, whether it's different learning environments. So you can kind of see here, I have an Artsonia introduction page. I have ways that they can email us. And you can also see my colleagues' classroom space. All of these are options that you can help your students to navigate different learning opportunities, whether it's a choice board, whether it's exploring different drawing activities. So any item that you put into your classroom could be a clickable link to a different slide in the presentation. So I hope that helps to get you started from basics to brilliant, whether you're adding text or videos or items into your space. It's going to be a fun way for students to navigate and learn in a virtual format. With virtual Bitmoji classrooms, you can also hold a virtual art show. This was a great way to collaborate and close out the end of the semester. My colleague and I worked together to invite our students to create their own virtual gallery. So what you're seeing here is actually our slideshow that we shared with our students, along with directions and a video tutorial on how to create their own gallery, highlighting their favorite pieces of artwork from the school year and from their time in distance learning. So we started off with this basic slide that showed it was a Harrisonburg City Public Schools middle school art show. I showcased my own gallery using my art ed portraits that I created through our COVID closure. And we also included a variety of items that students could easily copy from this particular slide for a seating area. Creative seating was not hard to find, as well as tables and walls and floor coverings, so carpets. Now, we also included some frames. We tried to make sure that this was an item that was able to be adjusted. So a differentiated learning environment for students to be able to create their own environment. We did teach them to be able to find an insert by searching the web. We wanted to also offer those students who were in 6th grade some items that they could easily look at for inspiration, whether it was lamps and lighting, items like velvet ropes that might make things look very precious and blocked off, or frames or easels or items that might hang on the wall. So we included some of those basic items. We also included some basic setups as far as background, where students would be able to copy that entire background and be able to edit that. Now, the majority of students actually wanted to create from their own background, but we did include some basic background settings and rooms that they could use to be a starting point. We went through a tutorial on how to create their own environment. Some of the students actually ended up copying our Bitmojis and putting them in their little galleries, as if I was admiring their artwork and contemplating all of the beautiful things that they had created. So it was really quite fun to see some of the things that they turned in. We directed the students to create their own slide and be able to send that directly to us through Google Classroom. All of those slides were then pieced together to create a slideshow that highlighted all of the middle school art that was created through our COVID closure. It was wonderful to see the students' personality highlight through some of their unique views in their gallery spaces. We did have some requirements, and those were laid out in our Google Classroom. We asked students to have a minimum of 6 pieces of artwork that were highlighted. They were able to do more if they wanted. So if they had other pieces from throughout their time that they wanted to include, they could have more than one slide. And I did have several students that ended up creating multiple slides. It was really cute. One student actually included her mother's Bitmoji because her mom wanted to come to see her art show too. So there was some wonderful personality that showed through in each of their spaces. I was able to really see some of the things that they were proud of, that they wanted to highlight in their own Bitmoji virtual art gallery. I shared this with our principals, our fellow teachers and staff, to be able to show them and advocate for the arts and the power of the arts throughout this time. And it was really wonderful to get so many positive responses from my colleagues and parents who really enjoyed seeing the students' work. We shared the final video throughout our Google Classroom items, and we also shared it on a local YouTube for our school district's Fine Arts page. I really hope that you will give this opportunity for your students to be able to create their own space and show off their own artwork. It was very easy for my 6th graders all the way through my 8th graders by giving them some basic elements. We did give tutorials as far as a video tutorial, very much like the one that you are seeing here, in step-by-step how to create the different elements in their design. Students might have pink girly items in their room versus a very stark modern room. So it's really fun to see their personality show through their own gallery. So give it a try. Trust that your students can have a little bit of fun creating. And in the end, all together, you have a wonderful showcase to advocate for your art program, and your students will be proud to share it. Give it a try. I'd love to see what you create and what your students create in a virtual art show. And they can also add their own Bitmoji. Let's go from basic to brilliant. So this past semester, I actually was sharing all of my virtual learning environment through Google Classroom. Now, that's going to change a little bit in the fall for me here in Virginia. I'll be moving to Canvas. So I will still be able to do a few little tricks, but I wanted to show you one thing that I did for Google Classroom. So if you use Google Classroom, or if you will in the fall, this is a fun little way. And if you notice, I actually created an animated header for my Google Art Classroom. So you can see, I start over at my desk, I do a little air hugs, and I walk over to the far left, kind of over where you can't see, and I wave goodbye to everybody. So this is animated, and it's at the top of the page. You could also upload an image of your Google Classroom to be at the top. It's just a fun, cute way that students will see when they first enter your virtual Google Art Room. So I'm going to show you how I created that fun little animated header. So let's go over to my animated header Google Slides. So here we are. To create this, it's really, really simple. One, I have a screenshot of my entire classroom. So it's sort of a little panned out photograph. It is set, and when I went to start a new slideshow, I made sure that the document size would fit the header. And I can go in and show you the header size. Let me go down. So the page setup is 8.33 by 2.08. And that was about as close as I could get to really fitting the full top header of the Google Classroom page. So if you just will write down 8.33 by 2.08, that will be your custom size for your animated header. Then I created a series of slides. And so I'm going to zoom my little face bubble out of the way here. And I'm going to actually make it a little bit smaller. Now, you can see what I've created. Over on the left, I have 7 slides. Each one will be a step in my animation. And I've created the basic photo of the still image without my Bitmoji. So each slide, as I click through, will have a different Bitmoji, me moving throughout the space. So the third slide, I'm kind of walking across the carpet over towards the center of the room. The fourth slide, I'm giving air hugs because I miss all of my fabulous students. Then I'm continuing to move across the room. I stop and paint for a bit and then exit stage left and give a little wave. And this is going to rotate through. Now, how do I record this to make it an animated GIF, you might ask? Well, super simple. There is an extension for your Google Chrome. I'm loving the extensions. This one is called Screencastify, and you can record a version of your slideshow. So I would go to Present and play the slides. And I'm going to do a Screencastify record. And when I do that, I'm able to actually export it as a GIF. So once it is exported, it will be able to play on automatic rotation. I can take that little GIF file and upload it directly into Google Classroom. As easy as that. So Screencastify is the extension that you want for Chrome to be able to record your animation. And just like we had done before, you're using your Bitmoji little extension on Chrome to download the different items that you might put into your space. So what I've done, and I'm going to kind of just create a new little slide here. So I'm going to do a duplicate slide, and I'm going to delete my Bitmoji so you can see that. I would go up to the Bitmoji extension, find the pose that I would like to include, click and drag down into the space, and there I am. I can resize it to be the size that I would like it to be. Maybe I'm splashing into the summer. There we go. And then when I go through to play, I'll be dashing through and giving a little splash. So it's a fun little addition from Bitmoji to Brilliant for an animated header for your Google Classroom. I hope you have fun. This will be a fun little trick or something that you might wave for different holidays or seasons. It could change up for different events that you might be hosting. So I hope you'll try it out, and I'd love to see your animated classroom GIF. How about a bit of fun? So there's never too much fun that can be had in the art room, and here's a fun way that your Bitmoji can actually move. And I'm going to hit Present to allow you to see a little glimpse of what I share with my students at the end of the year. So what I created there was done using Snapchat. With Snapchat, you can actually integrate your Bitmoji. It's also been a great way that I could collaborate with my colleague, and her Bitmoji character and my Bitmoji character could be in fun little scenes together, and I could download those images and put them into some of our slides. But for this animation, if you have the Snapchat app and you have integrated it with your Bitmoji, you can then actually use your character to do a variety of different things. There are some exercises, some dances, and of course, sweeping, which I can't seem to ever clean enough in the art room. Let's be honest, there's always a mess and there's always something that needs cleaning. So at the end of the year, it is time to clean. And I actually recorded a little bit of a whistle, a cleaning away, and there you have my little character. Now, how did I do this? So I went to the app Snapchat on my phone. I then went and searched for Bitmoji. There are a variety of different animations and actions that your Bitmoji character can do. You want to face towards a blank white wall, and you position your camera to record a video. You're going to record a short clip, just enough to create the motion in a GIF. So you want to make sure that the motion goes through at least one cycle or two. Then you are going to save that onto your phone. From there, you're going to go to unscreen.com and be able to use the green screen format to get rid of the white background and make it transparent. Once you do that, you're going to be able to kind of remove that background and be able to have that transparent PNG file saved to your phone. You can email it to yourself, or if you have Google Drive directly on your phone, you can upload it directly into your drive and move it over into your slideshow or wherever you would like to put your animated character. Now, I did show you previously how to add that sound, but I love to use the sound recorder on my phone. I record the sound, save it to my phone. I do usually have to translate the format into something that would be a sound format that the Google Slides would work, like an MP4. So you might need to change that. There are a couple different websites that will do that easily for you, kind of make that into a format that's easily understood. But once you do that, you embed it into your slide, and that sound is actually underneath the bookshelf, hidden away, and it is set to be animated. So I can actually go through under some of the tools and formatting to make sure that that animation of the sound plays automatically when the slide is clicked on. And as you can see, the GIF is automatically moving constantly whenever the students are on that site. I did kind of clean up a little bit and put a sign on the main board for my students to say, have a great summer and enjoy. So that's a little hint of ways that you can add some fun animation into your slides. Give it a try and let me know what kind of creative things that you are doing in your virtual classroom. A great website tip. So remove BG, remove background. Really important when you're creating your virtual Bitmoji classroom. You want to be able to have an image that has no background around it so that it looks like it's virtually in your space. I was able to use remove BG for my rug and several other items that I wanted to have included in my classroom. Now, this website allows you to do one image free a day, so you do want to kind of take your time. There is a way that you can become a member and pay to have more done, but this is a great option. You can easily upload an image, and by pushing remove background, it immediately removes the majority of your background. You can see there's one little flyaway hair there that's left, but you can see that all of the background that was in my busy classroom is all gone, and I am there smiling and ready to kind of be virtually put into a space in one of the slides. So not only do you have the option of using your Bitmoji character, but you can also virtually put yourself or other individuals or items into your virtual classroom. So I highly recommend Remove BG. If you have an iPad or some other art software, you can also go in and select and delete some of your own background items. So using Procreate on my iPad, I was able to also do the same thing using other items. I was able to find different images of things online and delete the background and save it as a transparent background in Procreate, for example. But you can use your favorite art editing software that you have available to you. You just want to make sure that you have the ability to save as a PNG. So you can see I can easily download this item and be able to use it, whether it's in a document or in my virtual classroom. So a great resource to remember is Remove BG, Remove Background. Try it out. Now here's a brilliant idea to add a little bit of Bitmoji fun to the bottom of your email. You can create your own email signature using your Bitmoji. I'm using Canva. I've created a document, and if we look over here to the size, it is 200 by 80 pixels, perfect for a signature in your email program. I've got my name, my nickname, my school address, and the city. Now you can put as much information that you would like in this document. And I've gone ahead and created another blank page so that we can sort of build it together. Now, one thing when you are using canva.com, if I went to Bitmoji and used the extension, I can't click and drag. That doesn't work. But what you can do is go to Bitmoji, find the Bitmoji that you would like to use, right click and hit copy image, and you could paste. So we can do Control V, and you will notice that that allows it to enter into Canva. So you can't click and drag, but you can copy and paste directly into the program. I can then resize in Canva to be the size that I would like and position it the way I would like it to be. I can go over to my elements. I could perhaps look for a chalkboard, and I can click and drag that into the space, whichever one I think I might like to use. I kind of like this one. I'm going to resize. Remember, if you use the corners to drag and resize, you're going to be able to keep the proportions accurate. So I'm going to click and drag. I am also going to use a basic shape, I believe, to get a color. And I'm going to just use a square shape. Now, right now you're seeing these all on top of each other, and I'm going to fix the order of these items. Now, in Canva, I can go in, I can change the color. I can go in and change the position and send this backwards. So it's all the way in the back. I'm going to position my little Bitmoji down a little bit so she's on the floor. I'm going to copy this rectangle and put another one down at the bottom for a floor. And I'm going to give that a different color, perhaps a brown. And again, change the position to back. So there we have a chalkboard and a wall and my Bitmoji, and I'm going to make sure that she is forward, she is all the way in the front, and she's pointing at the chalkboard. Now I can go over, I can find some text, and I am going to add a heading, and I'm going to change the sizing. And drag that down, so you use a click and drag to be able to get it in position. And I am going to perhaps type my name. And I can resize. There we go. And I can change the font. It could be something that has more of a handwritten look to it, that sort of looks like I've written it with chalk there on the board. You can go through and change whatever setting. You could also upload the virtual view of your classroom, or it could be a very simple scene. But it's up to you how you would like to create your email signature. Once you have your signature created, you're going to click download and download it as a PNG or a JPEG, so one type of image file. When you go into your settings, you're going to look for all settings. In Gmail, for example, it's the thing that looks like the little gear in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on that, click on all settings, and you'll go to a page that will have a lot of different options. If you go all the way down to the bottom, there is an option for your signature. That is where you'll be able to upload this particular image file in, and it will then be on the bottom of your email. You can choose if it's included in all of your responses or if it's just in the emails that you create. So have a little fun and put a little Bitmoji smile at the bottom of your email. Bitmojis are also wonderful for signs around your classroom. Before the COVID pandemic closed my classroom, I was already working on making sure my students were washing their hands and trying to make sure that everything was cleaned and sanitized. I'd actually gone through a deep cleanse of my classroom about 3 weeks prior to our school closure for the rest of the year. So Bitmoji was a great way to create signs for my classroom. I was able to create the signs. I use Canva quite a bit. So I downloaded some of the Bitmoji signs for washing your hands. This is an example. And I simply went to my Bitmoji extension and typed in wash your hands. And you can see right there, we've got a couple different ones that pop up, but you find the one that you would like to use and copy and paste into your document. So here you see wash your hands with a cute little soap bottle, and I am washing for at least 20 seconds. I was teaching my students different songs prior to leaving. Don't touch your face. That was another thing that we were told early on. Now, these were laminated in our school library, and I was able to then have these above all of the sinks in my classroom to make sure that students were staying clean. And I know that when we are able to return to the classroom, this will be part of my daily routine. Another sign that I was able to find was keep your distance. So that was something that I thought would be great. I also use Bitmojis to create cute stickers or little signs that I might post around the room. So when students are doing a great job, I actually have this that is printed out in a cute little format. And so if I catch someone being a star student in my classroom and really doing a great job modeling how they are using their best studio habits, they are engaged, they are pushing through a tough project, so really focused and using their time wisely, I might sneak this and set it down on the table. Now, all of the other students at the table would notice that someone was being acknowledged for doing a good job. I didn't have to say anything. It wasn't something that was very boastful or loud. It didn't embarrass any students, but it did compliment that student very quietly and encourage them to keep going. It also allowed all of the other students to see a model that was showing using best studio habits in the classroom. So it also encouraged other students to join in and want to see that recognition as well. So it was a way that I could encourage those students who were using their best studio habits. And it wasn't intrusive. It was a very quick, and I have those on little cards that are printed out and laminated, and I can just drop them by and kind of give them a little encouragement. They can be something that the students take with them, or it can be something that you pick up and collect, and different students might get that encouragement on a different day. So it's a way to encourage students very quietly. These can also be printed out and made into stickers. I do have a Cricut maker, so this would be something very simple that you could create your own stickers and be able to give out stickers for students for a reward. Something that I also wanted to show you, there are some fun Bitmojis that happen now and then. There is this one that is dedicated to the persistence of memory from Salvador Dali. So these are fun little Bitmojis. There's one for the screen. I've tried to save them as I see them. They do change. So every now and then I will do a quick search of the new Bitmojis that might be popping up. I've seen Mona Lisa and art frames and different things that pop up. So you can save them. They're not always the same availability on your Bitmoji. So I do try to save them. I sometimes will even download them and email them to myself or put them in my Google Drive. So I have a little folder of my favorite Bitmojis that I like to use. So that's a fun little Bitmoji that you can find and use. Another thing that I like to do is personalize Bitmojis. A lot of times your Bitmojis will come with text or words that you might not want to use, but you like the layout. So this is one in particular. This Bitmoji actually, and if I were to move all of this text and this little sign, it's kind of a throwback Thursday there, and I was layering different elements to create my own little sign. So it's very easy to transform. Now, if you have a photo editing software, you can actually download or put your image of your Bitmoji in and edit or erase that sign. I have an iPad, so I use Procreate sometimes to be able to change and edit different Bitmojis. I've also used a couple other things where I'd put other images in with my Bitmoji. So you can definitely add and change things. You can also change the color of different elements in that. So this is one way by using Canva, but you definitely can use other software that you might have available to change some of the elements and personalize your Bitmoji. Another great thing that you could also do is if you had a Bitmoji that had a t-shirt and a front view, you could also upload and put your school logo or name on the t-shirt and then have that saved and downloaded as a transparent so that you could put that in your virtual classroom. So you can definitely make some improvements to your Bitmoji by personalizing it and adding it, whether it's in your classroom for signs or different directions that you might have at different stations throughout your room. I have a printmaking station, a painting station, different areas where I might give directions for different ways to use materials. This is a great way to kind of remind students about those steps that you are expecting of them in those different areas. But in a virtual room, you can also do this as well and have those cute little signs edited to fit your needs. So that's a fun way that you can edit and change your Bitmoji to not only be for signs in your classroom, but signs for your virtual classroom. Hope that helps. And I hope you can personalize some of your Bitmoji characters to fit your needs. So I hope you found some fun ways to use Bitmoji in your classroom, whether it's virtual, in person, or a hybrid. There's lots of fun ways to incorporate them into your learning environment. So some things that I want you to remember. There are lots of great resources available on the web. Simply do a Google search for Bitmoji Virtual Classroom and you will find a wealth of tutorials and information from a variety of teachers all across all subjects. There are so many different ways that educators are using Bitmoji to add a bit of fun into their classroom. Whether you're using it for assessments and holding up little signs that students can hold up that say yes or no, being able to answer very quickly, whether you're creating virtual classrooms like we've been doing. There's lots of ways to use Bitmoji and add a little bit of personality. So I want you to remember a couple things about your virtual classroom. When you're creating an interactive slideshow, make sure that you always include some place where the students can exit, some sort of sign that you are making sure that the students understand will help them to navigate back to the beginning. That's really important. You want to make sure that it's very clear on how they would go through the different slides. So throughout my presentation, I do have an exit sign that takes the students back to the beginning. So on any of the slides, if they're looking through their choice boards, that's a great way to navigate. Now, Other things that you can look for is hiding what I would call some Easter eggs of fun throughout the room. So in my virtual classroom, I have the calendar is actually a Georgia O'Keeffe calendar, and I put some wonderful little things to learn about Georgia O'Keeffe hidden on that link. You can have other things that might be hidden within your slides that aren't necessarily something that students would first see, but as they start clicking around, they'll find all of those wonderful links and hidden little Easter eggs of joy and fun and inspiration. I actually have my stereo in the back playing some music for students, and one of my students clicked on it and found that she could listen to the music that I would always play in the classroom, and she enjoyed that when she was making art. So you never know what students will find when they start exploring your classroom. Make it fun and make it share a little bit of your personality, because that's what the students love, connecting with each of us in a different way and kind of finding those personality traits that they can love and connect to. So get to know your students, find out the things that they love, give them some choice and voice in what they're creating. And I think you'll be inspired by all of the ways that they share and create. I did also include, and you'll see there's an Artsonia link. That's how my students have been uploading throughout this COVID closure, and will continue to create throughout the next year when we're in person or at afar. Their classroom mode was a great way. And the link actually showed a video for students to remind them on how to upload and the best photographing techniques for the students to make sure their artwork was shown off in the best light possible. And it also had a link that they could go directly to the classroom mode. So there are little things that you can put within this environment that really help students to navigate your learning and to be able to do exactly what you need them to do to meet their requirements. I hope you'll enjoy creating your own virtual classroom. I know several of my friends have felt like it was creating their own little dollhouse of an art room. There isn't a budget that's restricting you on your details and all of the fun things that you can put in. You can make as many different rooms or stations that you would like. If you're doing a choice classroom, this is a great way. You can have a slide that goes into a painting station or a printmaking station or a drawing station. And each one of those things would be a way that students can choose what materials they want to explore and be able to navigate through that. So just like you can see on the table there, there's some a pencil and some sketchbooks. That goes to a lot of sketchbook ideas and things that the students might be able to create and draw from. So I hope you'll enjoy creating and using your Bitmoji in some fun and unique creative ways. And I know that each of you will come up with a new way to incorporate your Bitmoji into your environment and your classroom that will inspire others. Do share on our OATK12 Facebook page. I would love to see what you're creating in your virtual classroom. I've been inspired by so many of you, and I think together we are going to make sure that creativity is not canceled. Take care. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.